Good Friday morning, and welcome to Ice Age TV. Wow, hey, it's Happy Valentine's Day, or is it? Wow, it's the Friday of the Valentine's Day. How about that? Wonder who's got their special day, special occasion for today. And I've been spending out Happy Valentine's Day on social media and the family, just wishing everybody a Happy Valentine's Day. We have more love in our life than hate, right? Because boy, isn't that something, how that love can go from that love and feeling to that not so much. But here we are as we walk across the driveway, and there's Prince. You never know, Prince was limping around a few days ago. I was all wondering if he has major hip issues. If you watched my 30-minute video yesterday, you'll see him just active as all get out. So good news is, hopefully that was just an injury, kind of like my knee, where I just injured myself, but it starts to heal up. So come on, pups, let's get here in the barn and get the Friday Valentine's Day going. I could have probably studied the Valentine's Day when it really started, but I didn't even think of that. Just my brain sometimes just mush. Have you noticed? Watching my channel? Probably, yeah, we noticed that, Mr. Iceman. We see that a lot. Yeah, we get all that conversation, right? So, let's see if we can get the big dogs in. Come on in. You know, this is it's cold. I mean, I am 4 layered deep. Oh my gosh, man. It gets old. We have a winter. I was so wrong. Somebody was making fun of that the other day. Come on, pups. That I thought that we'd just kind of get January and then February would be a mild month. Not so much. Come on. Hey, come on back. Come here, Ginger. Come on, Scout. Come on, Ginger, baby. Ginger, come on, baby. Ginger, hey, you. Ginger, you're way over there. I see you, little butt. All right, so what we'll do is get the food situated here for these guys. So Ginger's kind of, you know, doing her little Miss Prince Prissy thing. All right, what are you guys doing? Huh? What are you doing? All right, let me get these guys fit. Okay, lights, camera, action. Prince, I got a bowl for you. Don't do it. Hey, Rebel, don't do that. Don't do that, little stinker. Come here, Princey. Don't do that. Goofball. I got some food over here for you, Prince. Here, Prince. Here you go. There you go, boy. Good boy. Yeah, so getting the morning going, getting the dogs going, all that good stuff. Now, hey, Rebel, why are you doing that? Rebel, you're being a pain in the butt. Here, watch out. Come on. Let Prince have his own privacy. You get back over there. Come here. Come here. Here, Rebel. Get your ball over there. Yeah, he's Mr. Let me have it. It's mine. Yeah, so here we are on the Friday Valentine's Day. Anybody doing something special? Taking their love out to lunch or dinner? Did you get them flowers? Yeah, right? So what are we talking about? You know, every day of my life, I get out of bed, I think to myself, what can I talk about besides myself, right? So it's always kind of challenging to keep the momentum going of getting content. And as you know, really since last week and this week, it's all been about Elon Musk and Donald Trump. That's all it's been about for the most part. And some dog talk and some car talk. But for the most part, it's all about the ongoing Donald Trump coming to office and literally just lighting everybody's ass up on what he thinks is right versus wrong, and with Elon Musk right there next to his side. And so just incredible. Really just to stay abreast to all the things that are going on, it is pretty challenging because there's just so many variables are in front of us. But what is interesting is that auto manufacturers like the likes of Jim Farley, yeah, Chris Farley's cousin or uncle, not uncle, I think his cousin. If you know who Chris Farley is, the goofball comedian guy, he's dead. But for Jim Farley and other executives, they're very concerned about this. All these tariffs, stop it, don't do that. They're all very concerned about the tariffs, especially the tariffs that were just literally started on the steel and aluminum, the metals, 25% increase. So just for me, I'm such a trailer guy that loves trailers, car trailers and everything. Just think about that industry instantly had a 25% increase on a trailer. I mean, because the trailers are made out of steel and aluminum. So you're talking, even for me to even say this, so you're talking on a $10,000 trailer, it's now $12,500. That's instantly a $20,000 trailer is now what, $25,000. I mean, just instantly. So and the executives of these car companies are very worried. But and one part of me is like, you know what, you guys abused during the pandemic. The big business, just totally my view, abused so much. I mean, it's been unbelievable how expensive all the cars have, become in the country and in some ways in the world. But it's just beyond believable, the pricing. And now the car executives are freaking out because in some ways I feel like they abused the policy during the pandemic and they were able to make their operations more profitable by using the scapegoat that, it was supply and demand, labor, blah, 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 blah. But once everything got back in order of supply and demand and labor, they didn't lower their prices. So come on. You got to, it's like, yeah, right. You guys got away with inflating your prices through the roof, and especially Dodge, Jeep, Ram. I mean, the Jeep and Ram and Dodge dealers, they've been screaming bloody murder for the last year plus because everything got so expensive. They jacked they jacked everything $10,000, $20,000, $30,000, $40,000. That Ram TRX truck out in my driveway, I've talked about it many times. In 2021, that was an $84,000 vehicle. In 2024, whatever the last year run of the truck was, that was a $125,000 vehicle. So it increased by $41,000. And then all the shipping companies and freight companies, all their costs went through the roof because we had a very expensive fuel. But has anybody paid attention that the $100+ barrel of oil that was here back in March, I should say the year of 2022 when the Ukraine war started, we've really been at the $70, $80 barrel oil now for over a year at least. But yet the shipping costs haven't come down. I mean, so it's just incredible how all these companies jack their rates, but they're not going backwards. It's just like you give somebody a pay raise. Do you think you can cut their pay raise? And what are they going to do? They're going to get all riled up and go try to find a job somewhere else. Or they're just not going to work the same because you gave them pay raise. They're not going to go backwards. Just like in life as a couple, if you grow as a couple in your life and your spouse, you spoil your spouse. It could be man, could be woman, either or in today's world. And they get to live such a nice lifestyle. But then the dire straits start to set in. And do you think that spouse is going to be happy now living a modest lifestyle or very minimal, very low lifestyle when they were so used to living the high lifestyle? Yeah, it's going to be a problem. So the point is that these manufacturers, they're not dropping their prices. They're not going to do it. So now what they see a paint on the wall is with Donald Trump in office, they see now they got a big challenge because their lucrative profits they've made off of kicking it, basically pass on to us. They're going to have to try to do it again. And is the consumer really going to play to that? Is the consumer going to continue to run down the car dealership? And that's not a big deal. The $50,000 car is now, is basically now what, 57.5. I mean, as the increments grow, that 25% tax starts to have a huge impact. So once again, the big auto manufacturers are scrambling to meet with the Trump administration and Trump really trying to simmer him down because we're not only talking about the steel and aluminum, the metals, but what's on our doorstep as well is Donald Trump wants to do this reciprocal tariff tax on other countries. Whatever they're taxing us, we're going to tax them. So, but some people say that's already been around for a while. I really don't know all the tariff laws of all the imports and exports. I don't know all that. I'm not in that industry. But the point is that for the Trump administration, they're putting the screws to the auto industry. And auto industry is getting very, very concerned that, no, don't do that. Okay, you're good. The auto industry is getting very concerned that the getting a handle on the expenses and the overhead and the costs is just becoming, what they're claiming, it's getting chaotic. It's creating chaos. And they feel like some suppliers are going to literally go out of business. I don't know. I mean, it's going to be interesting. Then the other whole equation is for Joe Biden pushing the EV agenda like never ever seen. The people are very concerned that if Donald Trump starts stripping all these EV incentives and all the green agenda incentives, that it's going to be very difficult to sell these electric vehicles because you're going to lose all the subsidies, whether you realize it or not. That Joe Biden Inflation Reduction Act was like an $800 billion gift to anybody that wants to get in the car industry, battery industry, solar panel industry, the chips semiconductor industry. That was a Chips and Science Act. That was a whole separate bill of something like 57 or $60 billion. But the point is that huge allocation of monies for people to take advantage of building batteries domestic versus over there in China, who has the electric battery, to really fine-tuned and are the masters of what they took from our country. I've talked about that many times in my videos on how the Chinese took our technology from a bankrupt company that tried to take the Obama monies and create electric batteries. They just never could gain traction. It was way too soon. So the point is that this government was supposed to match the manufacturers making batteries to make their costs be like 40% less. So for the domestic side, so not saying it over in China and other places that they're going to see a subsidy taken away from them. But the thing is, if we have a 10% tariff on China, or we have whatever tariffs on all the parts and supplies from overseas that put these cars together, then it's all proportional. It's going to continue to make these cars and vehicles very expensive, but at the same time, the electric vehicles, it's going to be very challenging to bring the electric vehicle to make sense on the fact of it being able to be affordable to the average person that feels like the electric vehicle is the right choice. But if Donald Trump gets his way and he can get the barrel of oil even lower, and we can get back in the $2 gas range, which I'm not so sure he'll per se really accomplish that. But if he did, if you have $2 gas, $1.99 gas, $2.50 gas, you got $2.99 diesel, it starts to just change the whole motivation for you to want to buy an electric vehicle thinking you're going to save any money. You're not. So once again, no, don't do that. Don't ruin that one, dummy. Don't do that. Don't ruin that one. Yeah, I don't feel like chasing dogs around the neighborhood right now. And that's what it's going to turn into. I'm kind of leaving him in here because it just turns into me chasing around. Even though for Diesel and Rebel, I really got into Diesel the other day, getting off the property. I mean, I really got into him. And he understands the word bad. So it's kind of interesting now. When he kind of starts going away, and I start saying bad to him, he kind of understands how bad he was. And this guy's just never-ending fighting. Are they having a happy Valentine's Day? Yeah, so here's the latest. So apparently Donald Trump just bought like $400 million worth of Cybertrucks from Tesla. Do you know about this? So already people are saying, oh, here you go. It's Elon Musk who's getting the favoritism and betting in the government now. Yet this is the guy that's calling out all the unfairness on how monies are given out, blah, 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 right? So everybody's now like, oh, so now Donald Trump has set aside $400 million to enrich Elon Musk. And the liberal media is having a field day calling out Elon Musk look at the guy that's calling the kettle black. Oh, breaking news. Joe Biden is the guy that asked to buy $400 million from Tesla. But the media is going to twist it and tell you that Donald Trump did. Trump, I don't think he's going to buy $400 million. I don't think Trump would do it. He'd be like, for what? Why? We're trying to cut expenses, not create more expenses. So yes, anybody out there hearing the news about the so-called Donald Trump and Elon, getting into business together, and that was the whole deal to sweeten Elon's wealth by selling the government $400 million worth of the Cybertruck. That was the Joe Biden regime. It sure was. But you'll be misled, and your friends will be misled. They'll never figure that out. Well, whatever. And you know what? I could be wrong. But I would be willing to guarantee you that that's probably what happened. So here's good old Princey boy, who, thank goodness, really is looking good. And he's a hungry boy, isn't he? So that's a good thing. And so back to the auto industry. For us, the consumer, we all know how it plays out. And I was thinking to myself yesterday, for Donald Trump, his goal is to bring more money stateside to this country by imposing all these tariffs on these imports in our country to make our government more wealthy, which, yeah, it's a great idea. But at the same time, it's going to be us in so many ways. Why wouldn't we just start sending more money to the government? I mean, because that's what's going to play out. You and I are going to pay more for everything as time progresses. And so you just really step back and think about it, that we're now, if you voted in Donald Trump, you just voted in for you to donate even more money to the government. And people are like, well, that's not true. When you buy a car, it's like, well, it is true because Donald Trump just put a tariff on all these companies and countries and imports that is going to cost you and I 25% more conservative. So we just had a 25% increase, basically, in our taxes. Is anybody figuring this out? I mean, for what I've always just said, Donald Trump. I like Donald Trump. Am I the Trump guy that just, some people are just Trump mania. That is not who I am. I mean, I'd rather have Donald Trump in office than Kamala Harris. But the point is, in so many ways, Trump's putting the hammer down, and in so many ways, he's creating even more havoc on you and I to have to spend more money. Yes, it's going to be, you have to wonder, does Trump actually get this country to go broke? Because, but others, will argue about how it's a better thing, a good thing, like Bassett, Secretary of Treasury. Did you see him go meet Zelensky? Oh, that was classic. That was classic. You see, Bassett's a tall, big guy, and Zelensky's a short guy. And it was classic just to see him sitting at the table across from each other. And it looked like, it kind of, to me, looked like the Dire Straits type of presentation. If you could see the look of Zelensky versus Bassett, the new Secretary of Treasury, he had like a book with him, like a notebook with him. And it just looked like he was going to look across the table to Zelensky and say, hey, man, we can't afford you no more. I mean, it truly looked like the accountant that comes to the CEO of a company and tells him the books don't work anymore, boss. The company's bankrupt. We don't have it anymore. And so that's exactly what I felt through that, the two opposing parties. And as you know now, the people are getting riled up because Donald Trump wants to go meet with Putin to put this damn war to end and tell Zelensky to go pound sand and just whatever part of the country you salvage, it is what it is, and shut the hell up and we ain't funding you no more. Which I think a lot of people in this country would agree, because it's a whole new tune. And for Zelensky, you just know that with Joe Biden being dismissed and Kamala Harris being dismissed, you just know the day of reckoning for him is on his doorstep. Even though the European, no, don't do that. Don't. I don't want you to turn that off. No, stop it. Go find something else. No. You have to always destroy something. Get a ball. And there's something else here. There's probably a water ball. That's all. So it's very interesting now. It's a whole other ball game in the world order. Pete Hegseth over there traveling the world, and he's visiting with his troops, if you want to call them. Hey, here, Keith. Hey, Keith. You see that? Even for me, I can't keep track of the dogs anymore. Their names. I'm calling Diesel Kiefer, right? So I've done that a lot of times, actually. So here you go. Here's another one. Here you go. Let's do this over here. Here you go. Here's another one. So get the water bottles out. Get them to start playing with those instead of destroying all my other goodies. Take the caps off, which you do. All right, we got another one in here. I think we do have another one in here. So we got one more. And get the cap off. Give you guys some water. And there's another one. We start now having fun with the water bottles so they don't have to be my problem, if you know what I mean. So now, over the foreign affairs, that's a whole other ball game. That what does it do to the energy prices? Apparently, when Modi came from India, he had a really good... Modi, the prime minister or whatever of India, whatever they call him, the president, he came, met with Trump, had a good meeting. Elon met him, had a good meeting, and now Trump's saying we're going to start exporting a fair amount of our oil to India. which should help the oil companies make more money, I guess. We don't really know. We're all outside the equation. We all know in this media, we all know in this social media age, it's so easy to read information, but to really decipher it, to really know both sides of the story, you don't. You don't. Because you're just hearing, just like me, I'm sharing with you information that I read and watch and learn, but it's one-sided in so many ways. It's not per se two-sided because I'm just point of view of somebody writing an article and expressing their views. And then you could have somebody have an opposing view, but that's a whole other argument or a difference of how things play out, which in the Democratic Party, their views right now are this country's out of control. Elon Musk and Trump are out of control, and they're creating chaos, and it's not all really what they're saying how bad it really is. More is it's not really that bad. Everybody, these guys are just taking certain things here and there and highlighting it, but yeah, right. I mean, so do we really know? I mean, and then with the judges intervening, and the list goes on that, which I've talked about that throughout the whole week, and now Elon Musk has sent one of his key guys to the IRS to now start talking to them and take a head count. But what is interesting here is Donald Trump does have, I believe, the powers to start eliminating federal workers. And what's on the table right now, there's 200,000 proprietary employees, meaning these are people who just came on board with the federal government. No, don't do that. That's aluminum. Don't do that. You're just always wanting to destroy something. It's just incredible, isn't it, everybody? It just doesn't end with the this stuff. Yeah, just leave it alone. Leave it. Go find a bottle. Come here. Get a bottle. Here. Let me do this for you. Let me give you another bottle. Here's a bottle. All right. This bottle here, I'm having some fun with it. It's got water in it. Let that idea. How about this? So now apparently Trump, apparently what the conversation is, there could be up to 200,000 federal employees eliminated. Wow. Does it really happen? I mean, do we really, truly witness for the first time ever? And, keep in mind, Elon Musk is posting Al Gore and Bill Clinton back in the 90s. They had the same kind of idea, whether you realize it or not. And Elon Musk said he has a posting on X. What happened to these guys? What happened to this plan? So apparently Bill Clinton, back in the 90s, and Al Gore, the vice president with Bill, was on a mission to really downsize the federal government. And so Elon Musk is saying, what happened to that plan? Where's that? And, where was the Democratic Party screaming bloody murder when they were on that mission? Versus down the Republican Party, or I should say more Donald Trump. There's a Republican Party because I didn't hear Mike Pence back when he was trying to be part of the primaries. I didn't hear Ron DeSantis. I didn't hear many other political opponents trying to muscle their way in to be the nominee for the Republican Party. I don't remember even talking about what has been accomplished with Donald Trump of them focusing on getting rid of all the frickin' corruption and all the bureaucracy. I don't remember any of those sitting political figures that for the most part have been career politicians in some ways, but I don't remember that pitch. You remember that pitch? So it is interesting on how Donald Trump truly has, along with Elon Musk, and I truly believe Elon Musk was the guy whispering in his ear about why he wanted to help Elon Musk or help Donald Trump become the president, and what Elon felt he could bring to the table to try to right the ship of the country, or does the ship go down because there's so much resistance to this change, and then the consumers are so pissed they truly just pull back like never ever seen. They're, on social media, the 2025 goal on social media is don't buy more stuff. Cut back. Now, is this the liberal media wanting to undermine Donald Trump? I mean, does the liberal-minded person say, you know what, I'm done supporting this frickin' Donald Trump, this Elon Musk bullcrap, and for me, am I buying anything new? Nope. Am I going to cut back on everything? Yep. And you may be forced to anyways. You may be out of a job. You may be forced to anyways because of it's just too expensive. But at the same time, is there now just a huge movement of screw this, or you have the people that will do anything to sacrifice themselves to keep Donald Trump in power and to keep the movement going, that people will be like, I don't care if I spend 10 grand more for something. I don't care. I don't care if I pay more for groceries. I don't care. I'm going to support Donald Trump and what he's trying to do for this country and write it, and eventually it'll balance itself out and make this a more healthy country. I mean, so that's a whole other variable of what could possibly play out. Meanwhile, the stock market's not really changing much. In the tech side, it's incredible, the tech market. Why the hell I didn't buy into some tech stocks? I just shake my head. And now, for me, is now a good time to buy in the market? I don't know. I just can't see NVIDIA exploding another 100%. I can't see a lot of these stocks that have already had their heyday. But I guess you get into shorts and the longs. I don't know all that stuff. But I can tell you what, I do know people that have gone out and sold everything to get into doing shorts and have gone bankrupt. I mean, I talked about this a while back, but there's actually like an Alcoholics Anonymous type of I guess social network where people are stock traders, and they become so addicted to it that many of them have lost everything. So there are some horrific stories of people that are addicted to playing stocks, and that's all they do all day long is they wager on the stocks all day long and play it, and the penny stocks and everything else. And many of them have made fortunes, but at the same time, many of them have lost everything. And it's like being an alcoholic. They can't get away from the computer and just be, turned into a zombie of wanting to play the markets. I guess others have success stories. All right, that's it. I'm going to try to keep these videos at 30 minutes or less. And this weekend's a big Daytona 500 weekend. Then the Gator Nationals are coming down there in March of this coming year. I think it was 2 years ago. That I actually bought tickets for Gator Nationals, and Julie and I were going to go down there, but then things played out. Things happened where I couldn't get away, but I was such a bummer. I spent like $400 or $500 on tickets, and I said, you know what? Does anybody know if this is factual or not? So my good friend of mine yesterday called me that I've known for 30 years, and he knows some very well-to-do people, and he told me that his good friends went to the Super Bowl, and they had the $20,000 tickets. So they literally two seats for $40,000, and they were right there near the end zone. And he claims that they never played the national anthem. They played the black national anthem, but does anybody know if that's factual or not? I thought that they sang or played, or did they sing? They didn't sing. I guess they sang something else. Anybody on my channel, reach out in the comments section and let me know what. I didn't research this by any means. I just was thinking to my tongue. But the point is, this is a very successful person that is, worth millions. And they're like, I would never ever go to a Super Bowl game ever again. And, do I just turn off the NFL? The NFL has gone so woke, they ain't backing down. I don't know. It's obvious they're not looking for me for their future. I don't think most of the people on my channel of my age group and kind of how we all think would agree that the NFL has pretty much just kissed us goodbye. Your age group is dying off, and that isn't who we're going after anymore to market. And so, anyways, if anybody knows what if that's factual or not, if the NFL kicked the national anthem to the curb, but instead gave the black national anthem the more preference, and then did somebody looking back here to see if for a minute I thought I saw a dead mouse, but my mouse traps are working. Thank God. I can't believe I didn't figure this out years ago to put mouse bait in those sealed containers and get the mice to eat that stuff and die. Because you know what? I just don't have the mice problem. So there's an area back here. I've got one. And you can see they've been eating it. And I know the only danger of that is the damn freaking mouse dies in my garage. One of these guys finds it and eats it. Yeah, that's a big problem. I know that. But they usually go looking for water. But anyways, So the whole point is, wrapping it up here is for the NFL. Oh my gosh, sure of that. But really, I was talking about the Daytona 500. So we're on the doorstep of the whole car racing season. Everything's it's just incredible. And then football is back March 17th for whatever the other football league is, which starts for the spring and summer months. So if you're a football addict, more football is coming your way, like the middle of the March. And then for us, if you're the NHRA guy, all that stuff's right around the corner. It's hard to believe. Today's already the 14th of February. Already halfway through the month, man. As you get older in life, like poof, gone. Wow. All right, well, that's it. Hey, happy Valentine's to everybody. Hope everybody has a beautiful, lovely, happy day. And that's, and I think for most of us, the goal in our life is to try to be happier than sadder. So, but we all have challenges. We all know that. So once again, have a blessed day and stay tuned for more adventure on Ice HTV.